Hi guys, my name is Kiana Simone and I'm back at it again with another video for my channel. I'm going to tell you the 7 things that I have learned this year that have made me a better person, along with have just helped me prosper in different aspects of my life. So the first one is motivation isn't the key to success. It is consistency and it is discipline. Obviously, when you have a goal, the first few weeks or the first month, you're gonna be motivated to do it. But then you're gonna hit a dry spell where you're not gonna wanna do whatever you have told yourself that you're gonna do. And that's when discipline and consistency comes into play. For example, I want gains in the gym. The first moment that I have written out my workouts or I get to the gym, I'm motivated, I'm like, let's go, let's get this done. After like the first month, I will get into these spells where I'm just like, I don't want to go to the gym, it can happen tomorrow, or I'll just be like, oh, it's a rest day, and I'll just start making excuses for myself. But I realized that in order for me to succeed in anything, I need to discipline myself and I need to realize the bigger picture, because me going to the gym every day or how many days I'm supposed to go is better than me making excuses. And it just also just creates a habit for me per se. So it's just like, oh, I go to the gym before work and it just helps me start my day off better. Or if I go after work, like either way, I'm getting it done. So like the next thing is that personal growth is not linear. It's something that I have been struggling with because I've dealt with so many different things this month. Not this month, but like this entire year. At least every quarter there's been something and I'm over it. But it took me a while to realize that there's gonna always be a setback or something that makes me upset. It's gonna be ups and downs throughout the whole journey. And as long as I realize and I understand that it's okay to make a mistake, as long as I reflect on it and don't make that mistake a habit again. For example, this is where it comes to where I'm trying to work on communicating with people and not communicating them very harshly. I definitely have used ChatGPT a little bit for that, because I did have some coworkers tell me that I'm an a-hole at work, along with just being really aggressive when trying to get my point across when I don't have to say it that particular way. An example of this was that I was talking to one of my friends. I'm the type of person that actually they weren't even a friend. They're like, we were getting to know each other, but in trying to make a relationship, but whatever. So I like consistency, but I also like communication better. And I'm the type of person that if you can't text me, that's okay, but just let me know like what's going on so that I'm not worried about you, or that I'm not just confused on what's going on with us. They just were not texting me, and I don't like that. I would prefer you tell me like, hey, I'm gonna be at work, I'm gonna be busy, or whatever is happening. The initial text that I sent was, you're a fucking horrible texter. That is so abrasive and so aggressive. I sent it and I sat there for like 10 minutes and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so aggressive and so unnecessary. There's a better way that I can approach the situation. So I went back and like edited the text. Obviously they can still see what I said, but that was a moment of growth for me, because I realized that I did not have to say it so aggressively, and I ended up changing it to, I would appreciate if you would text me back more, or if you can't, at least communicate why you can't. And I was so proud of myself, because I could be a bitch sometimes. And I reflected and I was just like, I wouldn't like if that person texted me that way. I would probably block them if I didn't like them enough. Becoming a better communicator in a nicer way. So the next thing is handle things with grace. This is what I mean like with the text messages. But handle things with grace. I feel like not everything deserves an explosive reaction. In general, nothing needs an explosive reaction. And I say that with all the stuff that I've been through, because there have been so many times where I reacted so poorly. It was so embarrassing, because that's not how I wanted to be viewed. Along with the fact that it was just an embarrassing time for my life when I did react explosively. I also know that people will remember how you reacted versus what made you react that way, especially if you react extremely explosive or out of line per se. Like obviously if someone kills your mom, you're gonna be upset, but you shouldn't become a mass murderer because of it, like duh. But I just realized that there's better ways to handle a situation by just changing my tone, or if someone is making me upset, just removing myself from the situation altogether, because that allows me time to really just understand why I feel a certain way, and then I can revisit the situation when I'm at a calmer time. Overall, I feel like being explosive and not being calm does not help you survive long term or overall. It just gives you this bad rep, and I pride myself in the way that I carry myself, because obviously I have things that could hold me back from other opportunities if I were to be explosive. Next, number 4, it's okay to be selfish. So this is something that I still sort of deal with, but I also decided for the rest of the year that I'm just gonna be self-isolating so that I could work on my self-care and also just my personal growth, because I realize that I'm a people pleaser and I tend to just do things because I know the person would like me to do it, or they ask me and I don't want them to do it by themselves. But I can't help people or give people the energy that they deserve if I am not taking time out in my own life to fix or curate the energy that I would like to pass out. And I feel like if you're always just like doing things with people, or you're just doing things for people that you don't want to do or you don't necessarily care to do, then it just chips away at yourself and your personality, because now you're just doing things just for the heck of it. Number 5, closed mouths don't get fed. So when they say this, I feel like I've been using a bunch of I don't know what they're called, but this is a good one, because I am the type of person that will let things happen to them and then I'll blame the person, but it's they don't understand how I feel, or they're not the person that I am, so they wouldn't understand why I'm reacting a certain way, or why I feel a certain way, or why whatever they're doing is wrong, unless I tell them specifically hey, I would expect you, or I would like for you to do this, that, and the third this way because it makes me feel better, or it's just you were disrespectful. And also, it does take a lot of action to get what you want, because sometimes say it's a situation at work where you can't just tell them hey, I need this. Sometimes you have to advocate for yourself, and you can't advocate for yourself if you're not letting people know what's going on with you. Number 6, this is something that I definitely believe in. Closure does not exist. There have been so many times where I would be in a situation with someone and I'm just why would you do that? And you knew that would hurt my feelings. And there's so many times where people aren't even thinking about you and how it would make you feel. They're just thinking about themselves. Whenever I would get those answers that they just weren't even thinking about me, it would just make me feel even worse, or just make me even more upset. And I realized that whenever you seek closure, you're not gonna get the answer that you would like, more than likely. In fact, you're gonna just end up with more questions. Now you have questions that are definitely not gonna get answered, or if they do get answered, they're not gonna be the answers that you want them to be. So I just don't believe in closure. I feel especially if someone's telling you how they feel, or by their actions, or by how they're talking to you, then that's all the closure you need, because clearly they don't respect you. Number 7, learn how to detach. I feel this is very important when it comes to the other ones that I talked about, being selfish and closure and just being disciplined and just all those things. And learning how to detach, I've only done it 2-3 times so far, and it's helped me so much, because really detaching is just having secure boundaries within yourself and just trusting in who you are, that you don't need that person. That's how I view it. Overall, it just means standing on business, because detaching can be hard, because once you have attached to someone, that's who you want to be with or who you want to be around. And being able to detach is making sure that you're putting yourself first and having strong boundaries, and understanding that everyone is not going to be the way that they portray themselves the whole time. And it just allows you to have healthy connections, being able to detach without ruining anything, or not ruining anything, but just ruining the perception of yourself that you have. Because I feel if you don't know how to detach healthy, then you're just gonna end up doing things that you normally wouldn't do for people that don't care about you. Those are the 7 things that I have learned, which is you need discipline to succeed, personal growth is not linear, handle things with grace, it's okay to be selfish, closed mouths don't get fed, closure does not exist, and learn how to detach. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Peace out.